Hello, welcome to the Merk and Maven podcast presented by Toronto Ultra. Your host, Maven, here with the beautiful Joe DeLuca and our best pal and one of the sexiest men alive for 10 years in a row, Chris Crowder.
For 10 years in a row?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
The Merk and Maven Toronto Ultra podcast? I don't know what that intro was, dude.
Oh, what I say, presented by Ultra? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. That's factual, right?
That's a fact. No, that is a fact. It's been a bit, but we're back. We've been playing a game. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm great, dude. Just got fresh out of scrims, you know. Been streaming, scrimming. Now I'm excited to talk some Call of Duty with you guys, dude. I've been looking forward to this.
We never do it ever, yeah.
Maven,
no,
how
never.
are you?
We never do that.
Every day.
Did you just ignore me?
Yeah, he did. Maven, how are you doing?
I didn't hear what he said. Oh, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry,
How are you
buddy.
doing today? How's your life going, you know?
I'm doing great. Well, Chris is way louder than Joe for me, and I have no idea why or how to fix that.
We're just off to a bad start here.
There you go. Now I hear you. Joe was really quiet, dude. I'm good.
We're just off to a bad start, everyone. Sorry about this. This is unbelievable. We're supposed to be professionals. We're supposed to be professionals.
No, we are not.
No, it's just honestly, just right out the gates, just like, what? Why are you wearing this? What are you wearing?
Yeah, what's going on over there, man?
I don't know. If Joe ever annoys me in life, I just wear Team Liquid stuff because it reminds him that's what ended his career. So I've got double Liquid today, dude.
You're such a good friend, dude. Is that the Avengers thing that they did? Oh wow, I actually forgot.
I don't know how I have that. Honestly, I have no clue.
Yeah, why do you have that?
I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, I feel like that's not something you would get.
I'd probably send it to him or something. I don't.
Yeah,
probably.
How did that even? Whatever, dude. You're an anomaly.
He really is. The guy's an actual alien. If aliens exist, it's this guy.
Dude, I knew something was wrong. I was so uncomfortable. I had Discord the wrong side away from the camera. I was like, why am I I'm good. What's up, guys? I was trying to look at you guys while you talked.
Yeah.
I'm ready now, guy. I'm ready.
All right, we're going to go. Let's get into a whole bunch of news drop today. From CDL to Call of Duty to Warzone. Let's start off with maybe the first thing. The first thing from the rotation. This is about challengers events.
They dropped the news? I actually didn't know that.
This is a current rumor right now. I don't think that this is out as we know it, but the tweet says from the rotation that as of now, there will be a maximum of 3 challengers opens this season.
Maximum.
It looks like we're only getting 3 stages of challengers elite as well.
Wow.
How many opens are there? There's 4 opens.
There's 4 majors, so yeah, 4
majors, and then the 5th champs.
So there should technically be 5.
Is there a challengers champs? Is this including that? I suppose is what I'm curious about.
Man, I feel like there has to be a challengers champs. Out of all the stuff
I think 3 then that because it's 3 stages, so you'd have an event each stage and champs, right?
Right. So it's just missing one event. So maybe
just
one
like
team.
us, same as us. We're short one.
Yeah,
so they're short one too. But do you think that's because one of the CDL teams didn't want to hold an open at their event or something like that, something weird or?
Not sure.
Maybe.
I wonder what that's like. Yeah, if the venue didn't have space for it or something.
Yeah,
you know
possibility.
What I mean?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Obviously that sucks.
That's horrible. Yeah.
Maybe that could get figured out. More open events the better. I think that's obviously still a big strength of our community. Supporting challengers, supporting the future. I think we saw it last year with the first Pro-Am. I loved the Pro-Am last year. I just felt like kicking it off with that, and it gave challengers a lot of spotlight. They were right after that event. There was the LAG switch, the first event at Boston. Right after that, all 4 of the team who won it, right, like Ghosty, they got onto teams. It feels like these early challengers events, in a way, are they segue you to the CDL because it's the teams that are struggling are going to look for who's good at this game.
Yeah.
Probably the people who are winning challengers events.
Mm-hmm. I know it's crazy. What are you?
I'd be okay with not having it constantly. I know a lot of people want the old format and old events and the full playthrough open bracket. But if we just had one to start, it's a litmus test. We had the old champs at the end. You kind of saw beginning, progression, how they do at the end. I'd be all right with that. But we lost those things. But I'd be okay with this at the beginning and end thing to see how it went.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Just I feel like the challengers. I know, I'm sure there's a bunch of money stuff into this, and
it's always tough to challenge. It's all budget.
But,
it's always money. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Budgets and all that. But at the end of the day, that is the future of Call of Duty. As you know it, you need those. Of course, there's going to be a lot of pros that are around for a long time, but the challengers world is like kind of how you keep the world going of the pros like for a long period of time. And to take a, I mean, I hope that like if it's maybe it's just like 3 opens or something, then a challengers champs is what we're like hoping for. Maybe at least do something bigger online or something. But like anything for those guys to compete, because like that stuff's really important. And especially with how the league works, dude. Like there's only 12 teams. Like I don't know if you guys watched any of the challengers. I don't know what it was called. The cup yesterday. It was like a
it was a rotation cup, right?
Oh, was it a rotation cup? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was, so yeah, like that one. I mean, dude, it was basically like 2 pro teams in the finals. Like those guys are all like they're all like basically pro players, or they've all been pro players at one point in the time. Like the challengers teams are still good, so it's like like those guys want to compete, and I feel like there's still a lot of opportunity for those like guys to do something with it. So I feel like
Yeah, I saw a few rosters like tweeting the offseason. I'm like, goddamn, that is that's like a pro team.
There's some good challengers teams, dude. Like for real, and like I know Asim's team's been playing. Like I think I talked to him a lot. Even before that, the cup, he was saying that his team doesn't like even drop maps. Like people haven't even been getting 100 points on them. Like in most of their scrims, like they've just been frying. He's been streaming all his scrims and stuff. So like that's what now. They definitely need more than just 3 opens or something. There has to be some way to make it more competitive, because that sucks. And especially because I know people like Zuma and stuff are like even looking into like making a challengers team, like the FaZe Black thing and stuff. Like
I think a lot of stuff this year is going to be weird. Like all the speculation with what's next, where are we going. It's a weird year, man. It just is. Like,
we'll
see what happens like going forward. But I'm not surprised at anything this year.
Yeah, that's fair point.
That's a good point. And then some people were at Sledgehammer. There's been some videos going on, multiplayer. I think the big thing that relates probably to CDL is the snaking video. If you have not seen the video, I think we have the clip that we could play for you. They're testing a snaking nerf. We obviously know the GA right now, but here is a look at that clip. For me, I just don't know if it's enough. It looks pretty smooth. It looks pretty similar. Like here is sort of the clip right here. It still looks pretty fast, but then at one point it almost seems like you stop. But
yeah,
I'm just not sure that's enough yet. And this is always tough, right? Because with Call of Duty going, it's all about smooth movement. That's what COD is. Treyarch, I know, catches some flack here and there with sort of not allowing drop shotting in their games. And the reason that like drop shotting is always a weird thing for them is because that's pretty much how you stop snaking, right? Just going from up to down. The game can't catch up with how fast your animation is, which leads to snaking. I guess good news is it's being tested.
I feel like that's the first time we've seen a developer like in a while. Of course, Treyarch does a good job because they have like when you like lie down in their games, like you put like, your hand down. You like put your hand down and everything. So like it's very clunky. But well, that's a big thing with what you said. That like Call of Duty is like so known for smooth movement that like they get flack for that clunkiness. So it's like and the CDL at the end of the day and like competitive COD is a very small niche compared to the whole entire franchise of it. But yeah, I mean, this is the first time I feel like we've had a developer even like really acknowledge it, like actually acknowledge it. Like, we've complained to them and they're like, yeah, we'll keep it in mind, and you never hear them again. But like this time, like they're actually trying to fix it. I mean, I don't think that clip was enough. I think they're probably just trying to work on it and see how it goes. But I think overall, when you can't do it relentlessly, it's better for Call of Duty and the competitive Call of Duty side. And the fact that they're even looking into it is huge. So like, I that's a good start. I think it's going to need a little bit more than that, though.
We're talking competitive. I don't even think casuals know what happens to them when this does happen.
I was going to ask you guys, like, when bunny hopping was huge, you'll see like a random forum thread of casuals like raging, oh, everyone's jumping around like a kangaroo. But has any casual ever like complained about
I just don't think they
like,
I don't really think they get it. Like,
I don't think they do either, or deal with
what
it
I mean
much
is like
SBMM, like
well, but like even in general, like snaking is all about animations. Like they've probably watched kill cams and been like, on my screen, that guy wasn't even looking at me, right? But it's the same thing. It's the same idea behind it. Like if you're ever looking at a guy and on your screen he's looking one way, then you watch the kill cam and he's actually looking at you, and or you just get like pop-up glitched, right? Like, oh, this guy's behind the counter, and then you die. Like it's the same thing. I just don't think they understand it
or see it much. Like how many people? You're a demon if you're snaking pubs, bro. Like I mean, with SBMM, like they're not going to run into it much.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like it's like SBMM for sure, and then on top of that, even without SBMM though, like I don't get snaked a lot of my lobbies. Like for the most part, like I'm talking like actually snaked. Like
Shit's
maybe pop up
exhausting,
here
bro.
and
My
yeah,
hands hurt. Like,
yeah, maybe people pop up here and there, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the pop up glitch just because that's just pure cameras of it. Like, bro, like
Yeah.
you're gonna have the camera advantage just like when you slide cancel a corner. It's the same thing. It's just going from lying down to standing up. But like, yeah, no, the relentless snaking where like people just hold head glitches for like 60 seconds at a time, like I don't think a lot of people deal with that. So it's like kind of hard to like stop that without like making it worse for others. So like I don't know. I think they're going to do a good job of it, at least of just trying. The snaking GA has also been nice too. I'm sure we'll get to that later, but yeah, it's been like I think with a combination of the snaking GA and them trying to fix it, I do think it will make the flow of the game like better. I don't think that's going to be enough in that clip, but again, if that's step one and the fact that they're even doing it compared to what we've dealt with in the last couple of years, I mean, I'm happy with it so far.
there's always going to be some movement cheese at the high end of it. Like, I mean, we had no movement in Warzone 2, but if I ran into a real demon with the pop-up glitch, I got pissed on. Like I got pissed on by that multiple times. You just lost aim assist. I'm like, what the hell did I just run into? So like, there'll always be something, but
yeah. It's going to be very hard to get to that.
It's on the radar, like you said.
Yeah, that's my big thing. Is like I feel like just from like our perspective in the league and everything, it just being a coach now and watching these guys compete, I just feel like it's such a big deal in the sense of just like a lot of the times, honestly, the developers have just been so non-transparent and their communication has sucked. Like we've been trying to get spawns changed and red dots and all this other stuff. Like where now it's like I feel like Sledgehammer's actually working with us for the first time in a while. That it feels like like the developers are trying to do something. So again, with that GA and this fix, I think it's a huge step forward. So
yeah. Agreed. Look forward to CDL with you'll see when that update comes in. All right, next this is Warzone related. We're talking on 12/4. Warzone releases 12/6 this Wednesday, the big season 1 update. This is from Primrose. She is a content creator that went to so there's a lot here. I picked out the things.
I looked at it, I was like, God damn,
there is a ton here.
Thought.
I picked out some of the things I think we would find the most interesting, so we don't have to go through all through of this. If you saw the Warzone news today, I think the biggest thing is 100-player lobbies, and they touched on that. They sort of said why they are looking at it, though. So the first thing is the map size is 20% smaller than Almaz. That is, a reason why they're talking about it being, 100-player lobbies. The game is supposed to be slower or faster, I mean. So 20-minute games, which I feel like is the sweet spot. Because if you look at sort of Warzone 1, Warzone 2, I think a big part of the casual side of it, or the people who just, get on at night, they just were playing Rebirth because Resurgence and Rebirth, it's action. It's probably 12 to 15-minute games. If you die, you just go again. And I felt like Warzone had to find the middle ground from like this BR long 30-minute game to the middle of Resurgence, because I think that is the sweet spot where like everybody is happy, and maybe this is them looking at that.
Well, like the number, it's just a number, the 150 or 100. Like size of the map, how fast circle it. You can make 100 feel like more than 150 depending on how it plays. I don't give a shit what the number is as long as they can do that. And my big thing, like I've raged as much as anyone, like servers have been so goddamn bad for years. If it really does impact it, I'd rather have 100 and they tweak other stuff and give me, a faster game with 100 than deal with servers if that's the problem. Because I mean, they just, dude.
We'll see if that is fixed. That wasn't on the list. Stats will reset. I think is a big thing for everybody. Enemy pings show on killcams. We have been asking for this for a long time.
That's nice.
Is he cheating?
Yeah, I mean, if you get live pings, you don't know. You watch the kill cam. When you live ping, you could see obviously them run through walls and run around the corner. You're just ready for it. So that's a big thing. One-shot snipers return. We were touching on this just earlier on our streams. Listen, I think this was bound to happen. I don't know if this is going to happen in the way of like Warzone 1 or like the end of Warzone 1 where there's a maximum distance thing. Because the car and Swiss were insane when they could just one-shot the world from everywhere. It was a ton of fun. I had a blast, but
I thought explosive was a pretty good answer. Like just lower the bullet velocity, has to have an attachment. I thought that was a pretty good middle ground, personally.
I agree, but the Call of Duty community is the Call of Duty community. So we talked about the cat sniper, right? We felt like that could be a lot of fun.
I was having a blast today with it. Just was
There's another bolt action coming into season 1 that looks sweet. If you haven't seen it, you can check that out. I'm sure on Twitter somewhere. I think the scary thing with this is sort of the longbow and is it the inhibitor? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
These
like
have 10 to 30 bullet clips. They're more almost in a way like marksman rifles. The way I see this getting out of hand is if those in one shot across the world.
No way.
We're in trouble. I think like even if they're like the car and Swiss and can one shot within like 75 to 50 meters, these things are gonna be dumb.
Yeah, the signal was dumb as shit, and that in one shot. So no. I'll be off. I'll be done.
Yeah, no, I really like the longbow specifically. I don't think will be a crazy one shot just because that's like the weaker out of the 3.
Yeah.
Like that is supposed to be the one that shoots fastest. It has the most ammo. Yeah, exactly. It's like more of a marksman rifle.
Marksman.
The inhibitor, I don't know like exactly what it's supposed to be, but it feels more of like the 50 cal in the sense like where it's like, semi-automatic. You can shoot it a little bit faster. It has a lot of recoil, so you're not just spamming it like, the signal. Like it didn't feel like that at least. Like the signal was a little easier to use in my opinion. Yeah. But I do think that gun can, if that's like 75 meters away, you're one shotting people, it can get crazy real quick, and that's like where you have to kind of draw the line. I personally think if it's a semi-automatic sniper like that, I don't think it should one shot. I mean, dude, the Cat AMR sniper that we were talking about earlier in the day, that thing is like your true sniper experience.
The Paladin, bro,
it's clunkier, it's slower, but you have the reward of maybe having a range up to 150 meters. Like that's kind of where they have to balance that. And I feel like they're going to try to go for that. I hope so. It could get really crazy really quick if they don't. And I think that would make everybody happy too, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. I feel like that one-shot sniping experience could still be fun. Because when Warzone 1 first came out, I don't know if you guys agree, but like the HDR was not a typical Car 98K experience. Like, you're not quick scoping people with the HDR, but it was still really fun to run.
I love the HDR. MP7 HDR is my favorite metas ever. Like,
yeah,
it's a good time. But like, if you ran up on people with 3 or 4 of them and rotate, you died.
Yeah,
that is for sure.
You definitely died for sure.
But I mean, that's sort of the one-shot sniper experience with loadouts. We could talk about this for an entire episode.
Yeah, wasn't thermal the problem at the beginning though? Like, no way.
People ran
no way to
4
hide from him. Yeah, you just couldn't hide from it because like you were just fucked. It was like, okay, cool.
Okay, smoke grenade duration nerfed by 20%. I don't know if that's going to be a huge deal in this game, just because you have stims back now, right? Movement is back to where it was. We'll see how it goes. There's also like the perk now where if you get knocked, you throw a smoke at your feet automatically. Warzone or whatever 2.53 Warzone, whatever the Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone. Which Warzone? Don't know. Yeah. The one on the 6th, season 1 is going to be wild. Portable radar distance doubled to 76 meters. I think that's.
You see my text?
That's pretty cool.
No.
What is it? Oh, well, I asked you. Is it like? So what was the baby monitor like? That, how far was
baby
that?
Monitor? Baby monitor is up to either 35. It was like 35 meters or 45 or something like that.
I haven't used the portable radar. You pick it back up and just keep dropping it places. It's a tactical, right?
I don't think.
No, it's a field upgrade. Portable
radar is a field upgrade, and you just put it down at your feet, and then
you can't put it on vehicles though. That's what we.
I was thinking it was a tactical for some reason. I was
it was a field upgrade. Field upgrade.
Less extreme default first circles. I think this is when the circle just starts in the water, so that's good. And then more contracts available late game. Again, this is just some of the things I think stood out, but there is a very long list. So yeah, that's all the news today. So
that's one of the funnier tweets I've ever seen, bro.
She had that shit locked down.
Like, God damn. All right.
That's a lot of all that. That's like basically all the feedback though that we've been like trying to get to them for. Like again, like I feel like Sledgehammer is really trying to do a good job of listening to them, but mainly most of the feedback. So I don't know. I'm stoked, dude. I'm excited.
One question about like the perks that you're gonna start with. Do you find it? I don't like that. Overkill is. I like that used to be a choice. Do you guys like that or no? I like that you had to pick like high alert or like an early overkill. Like that was always a little meta. I felt like that was weird. It's just like the default now. But
yeah, I think it's weird because now there's like 4 perks you can have too. So I thought like, maybe they're just like everyone's gonna pick this. Which could be.
I'd love
I'm sure they have the data
for like early high alert.
I'm sure there's data where like 95% of players are picking overkill. So it's like let's just give everybody overkill.
Well, it felt like I agree with scissors and just paying rock paper, and I was like, okay.
I agree with you for sure, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Okay, so that's all the early news. Now let's get into Crowder. Let's get into FaZe.
We're getting into him. Yeah.
James, beautiful model. What do you want to talk about first, Clint?
Well, I guess like life, bro. Because like you know,
Life.
we've had a lot of fun making content together. We are dumbasses and we have a blast playing, bro. Like, you know, you can only take Warzone so seriously until Chris and I are cosplaying as cops chasing people down.
Yeah, that's about right.
We've had a lot of fun, and you know, you've started like editing your own videos a bit. You know, you've been doing more with YouTube. You've been streaming on different channels. You've been like big into it, but like I know now it's like you kind of got that vibe before, and then the season comes, you're like, oh fuck my life. You've so much, right? Like,
yeah.
What's because you're shifting your whole stream schedule now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan,
dude?
Are you back to 5 a.m.?
No, so I'm gonna try not to be. For majority of the days. I mean, dude, like after like the last like 4 or 5 years of like content creation and coaching at the same time, and like especially being from like California and stuff, living here, like the time difference is crazy. Like waking up at 3 a.m. after a couple of years now has been getting a little bit more like just harder to do while with balancing life and everything. Yeah, dude, time zone sounds great, trust me. But
well, it's insane, Chris. Yeah, no, I mean it's insane.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, waking up at 3 a.m. I'm probably not going to do that anymore. And the reason why I want to start, I've been like focusing on YouTube so much, just so much more, is because like YouTube, you can record stuff and get videos out and schedule things like, you know, ahead of time.
Better quality of life.
I feel less guilty not streaming when at least I have YouTube videos going up, because like I feel like more productive, and I feel like I'm always trying to strive to like eventually, you know, be able to have my content like almost carry me in life. So it's like, it feels a little bit nicer in the sense where like I can stream. I'm still doing 2-a-day streams. Like I'll probably stream after this and like, you know, stream in the morning, stream at night. But like when Emily's not working and all that other stuff, then like I'll just chill for the night and I have a video up. So it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do the 3 a.m. wake up time anymore. For the most part, there'll still be days where I do it. But I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m. instead. So we're becoming more of a normal person slowly when it comes to the wake up times.
I think that's way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were just dying, bro. You get on and be like, oh, Chris, what Chris do I get today? You just be like, oh, shit.
So, yeah, no, yeah. I've been feeling better, but yeah, dude, it's just, I don't know. I've fell in love with the YouTube world, to be honest with you.
Can you tell people who maybe are listening, like what a day in your life was like when you were streaming? Like, let's just give them a day during the season. Let's give them a day.
So last year, or like any year before this year, because it's changing a little bit, but not too much, to be honest. But I'd wake up at like 2:33. Like I would set my alarm was set for 3 a.m. And like sometimes I'd wake up earlier, which would be nice, but I would very rarely. And then so I'd wake up at 3. I'd stream from like 3:15 to 3:30 to like 10 Pacific time. And then at 10 Pacific time, I would have like a 20-minute break to make breakfast for me and Emily, and like, you know, like just all that stuff to then get ready for a 10:30 VOD session with my team, anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour, because people are usually late and stuff. So we do like either at half an hour of VODs every day, and then scrims would start around like 11:15-ish, just because again, people, it's kind of gets delayed. And then from 11 to about, I don't know, about 4 or 5, we would do scrims. In between scrims, the 30-minute break, I would either get a workout in or go run a couple miles or something to like get my blood flowing, so I'm not just sitting here for like hours on end. Yeah, and then at the end of scrims, I would either go live again around like 6 to like 9 if I could, and then at like 9 o'clock, I mean, bro, I'm waking up at 3 if I don't get to bed as fast as I can. But like, to be honest, most of those days I don't go to bed at 9, just because like it's kind of hard to just snap my fingers and fall asleep. So yeah, but that was like my everyday schedule in the season for the last like 4 years.
That sounds like Joe and I, year 1 of Warzone. Like I thought we were gonna die, because we were streaming 40 hours a week. We were casting like 3 to 4 Warzone events a week. We were casting full time with the CDL. It was 14 to 16 hour days every single day of the week.
Yeah,
I was making a ton of money, but like I wanted to die. I was tired and grumpy always.
Yeah, like a walking zombie. And like, the big thing, we're on a CDL podcast here, of course. Like, the biggest thing with all that is like, the one thing I never did though is I've never put content in front of my team. Of course, obviously my main job is being coach. So like,
lots of seconds though. Like,
there was a lot of days where it's like, again, like,
he's not shooting and playing, Clint. Yeah,
But if there's days where, again, like we, you know, like last year, obviously we didn't win we won one event, we got seconds, and then like, you know, Vanguard, you're like, days that we're not doing good or things aren't clicking, it's like, instead of that second stream is an extra couple hours of just watching stuff with the coaches or the players or myself, you know, like just anything to like do that. So, or long team talks to make sure everyone's on the same page and stuff. So it's like, yeah, if it wasn't that second stream, it was usually something else of like trying to help the team in that way. So it just depends on like how the team is doing too, which kind of obviously put me up in the air depending on what I was going to do. But yeah, very long days.
You get to watch
Very little
Sims
sleep.
POV daily, bro. It's different. You're lucky.
I don't. It's not fun because you watch it and then you think you can do it, and then you go and play, and you're like, oh, dude. I every time I play 8s right now, after getting done watching us play, I'm like, I know the spawns, I know where people are gonna be. I'm about to start smoking people, and then I'm like, dude, how do these guys do it like this? So yeah, no.
I was like, if I
It's
didn't
fun,
know
but it's
better,
not fun at the
motherfucker's
same
cheating,
time.
bro. I didn't know better.
Yeah,
I
no.
swear to God, he's cheating.
Yeah,
Some of
his
the clips that I've
POV
seen
is insane.
Dude,
But yeah,
it's
no, that
nuts.
is an insane day. And you
Yeah.
were doing that a lot of days. So now you're doing your own editing?
He's
Partly?
dabbling.
yeah,
Dabbling.
yeah,
You're trying to learn?
dabbling. Yeah, when I got back from the World Series of Warzone,
Ever got fucked by a dolphin?
yeah, that was me. That was my
Yeah.
What?
But when I a short form video I made that had he made a dolphin noise. It didn't just never mind, dude. But
I was talking about how you
yeah,
qualified
no,
when you were a dolphin.
that's what I
not
thought
a-
at first too, and then I realized the video I made. But yeah, when I got back from World Series of Warzone, bro, I just wanted to focus on YouTube, and I wanted to learn how to edit myself, so I know what my editors are going through. So A, I don't assign them too much work, and B, like I understand what I'm asking them to do, and I can have, and I can have, basically have longer days, and then my have my vision and stuff on my YouTube videos, so I can like kind of give like feedback of like what I'd like. And now like so yeah, I help my editors as much as I can. My short form editor does everything for me, but my long form editors, we work together to like get videos out on a daily. But like I'll usually try and edit a video if I can, so they have a day off. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I try to, but sometimes again, like you said, editing a video takes quite a long time, especially when you're a noob. So
Seems like you're in a good place though. Like before, Joe and I would laugh because it was like one day you want to be a content creator, the next day you want to be the best player in the world. Like you just would shift. But like it seems like more balanced now. And
I'm
like you're happy.
I'm dropping the gimmick of being good at COD. Like I still want to be good at COD, but I don't want to.
You know what I mean? Like one day.
No, one day you woke up and said, "I'm going to qualify for the World Series of Warzone." I said,
exactly.
Okay.
I'm
I mean, it
done with
happened.
that.
You did it, but I was
yeah.
like, "What? This guy's fucking crazy."
Yeah, exactly. I'm dropping that side of me more. Like I'll still be competitive here and there, but yeah, like no, I need to focus
more games
on
with me,
having
baby.
fun. Yeah, exactly. Because I genuinely have more fun when I play with you guys. Like I mean, like dude, when we're just enjoying ourselves, being just a bunch of friends on the map, just enjoying and making fun content, like that's when I'm the happiest. And I had a long sit down after the World Series of Warzone about like, yo, I can't do this to myself again. So
Yeah.
It's never happening again. I've said that a few times in my life, but this is the one.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Let's focus on now the team. Let's focus on Atlanta
Mhm.
FaZe now. Coming into this year. I guess we'll start with Austin. The big thing.
Yeah.
Well, everyone will probably want to know. Is it just were there too many free agents? Were there too many good free agents? I should say. Was it, just selling him being a main AR? You found a role issue there. I mean, I guess this was like, what was the conversation? Because I mean, Austin had a good year,
No, Austin played great, and when I talked to him too, like I kept it very straight with him in the sense like he played great. He was a good teammate. A lot of people have that I guess the rumor around his name that he's a bad teammate sometimes. You can be like, he can be like obviously a hard-headed like leader, like he wants it his way or no way and stuff. And like, man, I've coached Austin twice. I have never had too much issues with him. Obviously, we've had arguments, but it's never been like what people make it out to be. He was a great teammate and he was a great leader. But at the end of the day, like, especially with the FaZe guys and stuff and all the standards, like we've gotten second places and stuff, and that's some teams is that's their dream to get on the podium, and we have to win or it's nothing, right? And like we only won one event last year, and we could have played a little better, and things could have went our way in Major 5 and even champs. I get it, but we didn't win enough as much as we wanted to. And just personally, I think the way Slasher and Celium were playing the AR role together, as well as having Simp not be as fully comfortable as he was supposed to be last year, like I just don't think it meshed as well as it was. And it wasn't even, again, like Austin not wanting the mesh as much as it was just like not meshing together. And I just wanted to see how we wanted to see how it looks. Like we talked as a team, and like they wanted to see how it looks with like MC being more of like in a different role, like a little bit less of a flex and a little bit more of like I'm gonna get a bunch of kills, and like we need someone else to kind of flex in between. And that's kind of what the conversation went down to. But I have nothing bad to say about Slasher when it came to last year.
I mean, I think we all kind of know, right? Like, if you're ever gonna make a team change, it's pretty hard to move on from Simpa, BZ, and Celium, right? Like, I just can't. I mean, obviously, like things could get worse, or there could be personality things. But this trio, I don't know what their average placing is. It's probably 2 or less than like 2.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know, 2.5, whatever it is. It's ridiculous. So I mean, yeah, I guess everyone just kind of has to know if this team doesn't win champs, or maybe you have 3 major wins, like you're pretty much gonna try to improve in some way.
Of course, and that's the thing too. It's like you're trying to improve at all, and at the end of the day, like again, last year wasn't that bad of a year for us if you look at it.
No.
But we got our championship, but I mean, bro, like the standard of our FaZe team has always been higher than what like the normal team has, in my opinion, at least. I feel like every time we get second, it's like we come home, the players come home from a second place with like $30,000 something in their pocket. They get second place. It sucks losing it. I think you would understand. Second's the worst. But like at the same time, like you're still doing really good for yourself, but it just feels miserable. It almost feels worse sometimes. And like, yeah, they just didn't have a good enough year to their standard, and they just wanted to make a change. And honestly, I think like the way the AR roles were just meshing, we decided to go and keep Cell because we think that we can make him more optimized for our team. So
I always thought it was like a short-term thing personally. Like you guys were going to find that next dynasty guy, the next god. And I don't know. I never thought it was gonna be that long. You know, I love Austin.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If we won a bunch, I don't think we would have made a change. It's like they
couldn't have.
like
It'd be hard to.
Yeah. So it's like, but at the end of the day, the results were the results, and it just kind of sucks. But it is what it is.
Was there like ever a discussion, just like it being the game it was? Like you were talking about, like Simp never got as comfortable as he was. Well, that's because he couldn't really move. Right. Like I mean,
no, we talked about it. I talked about it because from the coaching's perspective, last year was as frustrating as it could have been. It was also awesome to watch them work as hard as they did and put as much work as they were putting in. And like again, like the team environment was good. Their practice was for the most part like relatively like they were always trying to improve and watch VODs and stuff. So it wasn't like I was super frustrated as I was a coach, like compared to like the Vanguard year. But like it was more like, yeah, like we thought about maybe this game does just suck. I personally think MW2 was horrible, but at the same time, like it's just tough because I think the way right now Cell's been playing is like could be really dominant with like the right system around him. So we wanted to just change it up a little bit after talking about it. But yeah, it was definitely hard because I didn't really want to make a change at first, but at the same time, yeah, it's just standards and all that stuff too.
Yeah, I mean,
Joe and I were the only people talking about it for a long time, man. Like Cell, just something weird.
Yeah, it's not even like he's such a good kid too, because like he puts so much work into his game. Even now this year, it's like so funny.
You and I talked for 100 hours about it.
Yeah, you know that. Like, yeah, you trust me. Like you guys know a lot more too, but it's just like, yeah, like he just wants to do everything he can to like be the best player he can be, and also obviously help the team he can win and stuff too. So we had a long talk in the offseason and everything, but yeah, things have been great so far. But it definitely did suck because
I was just thinking like Austin, like just a great Search player. Search, I mean, your entire team was just Search was completely different last year. You couldn't move around. Like
everything was different last year.
Yeah, it was a completely different game.
That's how COD is too, though. It just sucks because like I feel like every year can be a little bit different, especially last year. And it's like if we run it back, like we could definitely run it back and still be pretty good. But then there's also again, like just to keep it completely honest, like the free agents that were also available are extremely enticing too. Like right, like as soon as that year ends, we didn't have the year we wanted. There was a lot of really good options. If there's a time to make a move, it's then. And it's like, well, we didn't have the year we wanted. We didn't play as good. And again, I don't even think it was fully his fault.
The world champs made a move, like.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, it's just like tough. So it's like, yeah, I think that was also a big part of it as well. Is like, I think with the year not being as good as we wanted it to be, I think it was kind of like the players were like, yeah, I think we should try and change it up a little bit. So
makes sense. I guess what are you looking at for like this team? Like, where do you want to see like improvement the most? Yes, coming off last year.
Coming off last year, I mean, I think I hope the Search stays the same. That'd be nice. All that stuff. But the Search, those guys work really hard in the Search world, especially with the S&D coach and stuff with like Pac and all them. Like they do so much work. But I mean, just in general, I want our respawns to translate more into matches than they did. I know our respawn record last year wasn't that good. Our control record, in my opinion, we just needed to be better at control overall. I think our philosophy, we can never get on the same page. So I think control this year is really important. I think control is probably the most important game mode. I mean, you can't get 3-0'd if you're good at control, you can always swing it. It's a swing round. We've like, it's just so important for that.
I said
So
that a lot, yeah.
yeah,
Especially
I
a
think
Cold War year with like you and Ultra, like when you guys won that year, because so many
yeah.
teams you're winning your search pick or you're winning your hardpoint pick, right? Especially end of the year, just
Yeah.
feels like that game 3, like
It's just so
important.
damn important. Yeah, and that's so it's like I want to improve with our control philosophies and getting on the same page with which I think we're doing a really good job this year. And then again, hard point, just optimizing these guys to be the best players they can be. Like obviously we want Sim to be more comfortable this year. We want Celium to try and get more hill time, but overall we want to play a system where like all 4 of them can do whatever at any given moment. And I think right now with the team that we have, they've been doing a good job. Like sometimes MC's out there going crazy with spawn kills, and then sometimes he's in the hill with Drazah doing it. And then sometimes, BZ's always going crazy because that's just how he is. But it's just like, we want that as much. And like, there's maps where I see Simp get a bunch of hill time, but then there's maps where I see him get none. So again, I want them to be at, like as much of a assembly line unit as possible, where all 4 of them are able to do what they could do. And I think they were getting it in practice last year, but not fully translating it. And usually when that happens, it means like it's not fully believed in, if that makes any sense. Like usually like there's like some like kind of like just like not full confidence of like what we're actually trying to execute. And I think this year we had a long talk about everything after last year and stuff too. And I think they're doing a good job with it right now.
Well, I want to talk Drazah a little bit at this point. And like, I kind of want to do it in 2 ways. I want to talk just about Drazah and then sort of about his like impact with the other players. Like, cause you and I talked a ton about it. And like, I thought he was perfect, not only because of the cell stuff, but like also his whole demeanor and vibe. Like you needed that like killer instinct. I felt like you guys lost that a bit. So first him individually, like how has he been just as a player, like comms, mentality, like how good has he been for you?
From the coaching's perspective, he's been like perfect, to be honest. Like not even just, I know like I'm probably gonna like I'll be obligated to say that people might think,
allowed.
but like
You're allowed.
But like honestly, he's been great. His comms have been really good. His comms, like between the team and stuff, like there's a lot of moments where like he'll take over the comms and like call a play in a hard point or something of what we need to do. He's got like very demanding communication, but at the same time like not hectic or frantic, And I think that's a big thing for us, that we can technically have frantic comms with throughout the year. So that's important.
I don't know what Cell's saying ever in a scrim.
He's got his own language, bro.
Then in his work ethic and all that stuff too, dude, it's just like it's been really good. So I mean, he had 71 series of BPL 8s played, and the next person on the BPL 8s had 50. So he plays a lot of Call of Duty as a coach. If he plays a lot of Call of Duty, he's good at Call of Duty, and he's smart too. The one thing I think not underrated, but I never worked with him, is when you play with certain players, there's people that believe in like watching VOD and like really understanding like what you're doing affects the next guy on the map. You know what I mean? Like with the mini maps and all that. He does. I think that's probably because he was coached by JCap for a lot of his career too, and he's a smart kid. But like every single time something does go wrong in a scrim, one of them, including him, a lot of the times will bring it up in the link immediately, watch the VOD, say, well, what are we doing here? This and that. Like he's very aware of like the big picture of a team, not just like, hey, like you can go to this spot and get a 2-piece, let's fry. It's like, no, dude, if you like make this play and you go around here, like this like causes him to spawn here. Like he's a very smart kid, and I think it's really nice working with someone like that.
Oh, he dealt with Kenny. He had to be able to explain shit, or like he just would have died.
Yeah, I mean, again, he came up through a very good system. Of Call of Duty with like Kenny's really smart. I have a lot of respect for Kenny, and then Cap I think is obviously a genius when it comes to COD. So I think that really shows working with him now that like he's got a really good foundation of just understanding COD. Because as crazy as it sounds, a lot of people don't, and he does. So
hey, you're not wrong. One thing though, like Cap's never had a great foundation and was Search and Destroy though, but I feel like Drazah Search, like I just remember like listening to them, like he would literally just call out rounds, like talking about the VOD, like what teams like to do. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna counter it. Like it feels like, I mean, as crazy as this sounds, like your search can get even better.
So say that, what's your record if I'm on the team as the forward? You still win like 80%. You're right.
Yeah, I think our search was always going to be pretty good because I think Vanguard would have been our worst search year. If I could take a guess, I think that was our worst search year.
Sure.
And we weren't even bad at it. We just weren't like, really good at it. So it's like I think the trio themselves will always be a pretty good search team for the most part. I would take a guess. But I do think, again, like Drazah is also Slasher is so good at search. We were so good at search last year, but Drazah is also a really good search player, and he plays a lot of search and destroy 8s. He has a lot of ratty angles. He brings a lot of information to the team. Another thing too, like he doesn't keep information.
He
to
does
himself.
this shit that some of your guys don't want to do. Like,
Yeah,
like,
no. So
I'm gonna shoot through a guy through this wall right here, and
I'm gonna
he's
do
probably
this.
like, what the fuck?
And this is gonna open up the map for you to hit this when I do this. Like, yeah, like he has a lot of calls and stuff like that from just playing the game so much. So I do think like, yeah, there's a world where we can be really good at search again this year too, record wise.
All right, now the other part of it, like you touched on this a bit. You don't have to like go too far, but like it was like, is Cell going to be a main AR? Or is he flex still and we get like a scrap or like a psycho main AR, or do we get a flex and he kind of shifts? You had to figure out what you want to do. And when you got Drazah, I was like, on paper, that seems pretty good. Now that you've had some time, like just isolate sort of that duo. What do you think so far?
Wait, isolate, like you're saying isolate.
Like the play with Selim and Drazah, like and now with Cell and AR and Drazah there, did he fix the problem so far? Like you think it worked out you thought it would?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest with you, and I know I'm sure some fans have obviously criticized this, like especially because, you know, when Austin played well last year and we got rid of him, like, you know, there's also a recurring theme of like we're not winning. We had Arcides, we didn't win with him at the end of Vanguard. There was a lot of other stuff to that, but like, and then this year, you know, we had Slasher, we didn't win with him. It's like, what do? We can't just keep like rotating someone. Like we have to obviously like look within. I think people were talking about that like on the flanking stuff. Maybe it might have been Parasite, I don't know. But yeah,
I'm
like
looking
I
at
think
the game, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, there's other stuff too, but like I think just in general, like we had some stuff to work on individually, like the players on our teams, to make everyone make sure, like again, like the big picture of like everyone flowing on the map as well as they could be. Let's get Simp a little bit more active. Let's make sure he's comfortable, because if he's not comfortable, I know people love to talk about Simp, but at the end of the day, he's the fucking GOAT. Period. Plain and simple. So like. When he's comfortable, he is that good. So, and he's been that good even last year. And it's like all that stuff. So it's like we want to make sure everyone's like playing for the team to win the most. And so we had to have a lot of talks just in general about like what we want to change. And then I do think Drazah also helps in that aspect right now with the way like we're having, you know, cell play and stuff. It's not just the hill time stat is going to be the full story of it. But, you know, like, no matter what, I think on any team, if there's one guy that always has to do one thing, if it's always hill, it's always anchoring, it's always watching the
That's
pinch,
a problem.
like whatever it is, it's a problem. And I think right now with what we're trying to create, it's looking pretty good. And so, yeah, I think Drazah definitely helps solve it. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, all three players know that you have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, we have to get better, including myself as coaching. It's like, yeah, how do we make this actually work? Because we can't just keep, you know, it wasn't like they got rid of Austin and they were like, oh, finally we can win with this guy. Like they knew they had to work on themselves.
Austin was doing what he was supposed to do.
Exactly. That's what I told him too. Like I was like, bro, you did everything you needed to do. So it's like, yeah, you have to look at yourself too and be like, how can I get better for the team as well? And then all three of them did that too.
No, it's awesome. That's awesome to hear. I mean, they're taking that because obviously they want to win. Does the state of the game help that sort of like the meta right now? Because we're kind of in a 3 AR sort of 1 sub, sometimes 2 sub. Like, does that just make that sort of transition, I think, like a little easier? Like you're just kind of
does it matter for that team? I feel like you guys are versatile as fuck though. Like
probably, I think the more subs,
it just makes some things easier.
Yeah. I think the more subs helps us in the sense like having symptoms VZ is always nice. And then Zach uses both guns very, very well. Or Drazah uses both guns very, very well. So it's like I don't like the meta is probably nicer to just to transition right now. But overall, I think just the state of the game, the 150 health is like a breath of fresh air to watch. I think like you see more like actual gunfights and everything else. I think, you know, spawns and stuff can change here and there to get a little bit better, but overall, no, I think it's nice. I couldn't really complain right now, and it's cool too to watch all them like grow from like me starting with them in MW 2019 till now. Like, yeah, a lot of the off stream conversations, not that don't happen in scrims of like private VOD watching on the side. Like, there's been a lot of that this year, and just gonna try and keep that going.
That's awesome. Now let's talk the game. Let's talk state of the game right now as we head into stage 1. First thing we're going to talk about, maybe if you're like, I don't know, think of this as like a CDL for dummies, one-on-one type thing. We're going to look at the current GAs for viewers, and what they could expect for week 1 of the CDL, because that starts when? Friday? Friday,
December 8th,
okay, so snaking, which I've watched some scrims. I think it seems great. ATS, I used it because I'm old. But maybe let's explain why ATS is it's really, really good, right? Like I think some people what they'll say is you should preserve your body, your hands, you should preserve controllers.
Nope.
ATS definitely helps that. But the reason pros don't use it is because it makes things like timings and going from sprint to tag sprint, like
and everyone's a movement god. It's not a skill.
Yeah.
Like
yes. Single tap. I don't know. That was like a Warzone 2, like last year's setting. Chris, what's single tap? I don't even know what it
All right,
is.
so the big thing right now is funny enough is like ATS is a problem for sure, but single tap is almost more of a problem because I think single tap is just ATS on steroids. And the reason why I say that is because I mean, if you guys play on ATS, there are some times where you try to walk forward and you sprint and you die and you're like, oh shit, like like especially when you're trying to well, Joe, you don't use shotguns, but you ever try and use a shotgun?
No, I do. Yeah. Hey, I'm an Interstellar guy. Unlocked it today.
That's true. So there you go. So yeah, there's congratulations. And then there's some times where like you go to walk forward and it kind of hurts you. With the single tap to run, if you click your left stick in once instead of twice, you immediately do the tag sprint. So it's basically like almost controllable auto tag sprint where like you can actually still walk forward and all it takes is one click, which is the same thing. And a lot of people that play on ATS click their stick anyway.
So I wasn't close in what I guess. So
yeah,
no. So it's basically ATS, but just a little bit better, especially when it's controlled by pros. And then like the movement stuff, like the reason why pros don't want that is because moving, like take my personal bias out of this and just use an optic guy. Moving like Shotzi is a skill, period.
Yep,
and if you are an older player in the league, or even if you want to throw me in there, and I can start moving even 75% of what Shotzi can do because I'm on ATS, that is not me being talented. That is the game doing it for me. And at a pro level, you should 100% have to actually have some sauce in your movement on your own, and it should be given to you. And also snaking, by the way, is brutal with ATS.
Sure is.
That's how you snake by when you're like fully lied down. You tack sprint out of it. So if you have ATS or single tap, everyone's staking movement is insane too. So it makes it even worse in that aspect too. So like just overall, you just want players like Shotzi, and I think if BZ has good movement, all these guys like like you want them to actually have good movement, not everyone just be a movement god.
Like that little, I mentioned to Joe, like when we're watching Simp, that little like, you have to turn on a dime and do like a slide cancel and like that one step to sprint. I struggle sometimes to do that with auto attack.
So many people,
like they'll do it so fluid, like
with
there
having
is
to
a
click it
skill to
twice.
it. Yes, exactly. There is a skill to it, 100%. Because like
they move better than me with ATS. I have ATS on, and they move better than me with having it to do it to like hit it twice. So that's what I mean. Like you should not be able to have that in the pro world because that is a skill no matter what. And most of the people that are arguing that it's like a quality of life thing for controllers and stuff, I mean, to be completely honest with you, they all get free controllers or sponsored by whoever it is. And then on top of that as well, like their hands and stuff, like I don't know. I feel like a lot of that is just like a cop out of like you just know people like Shotzi and Abizi and all these guys move better than you. And
well, I think really what that argument is about is like because I think challengers trying to mimic this, right? Like challengers trying to mimic, challengers trying to mimic this as close as possible. So maybe that I think that's pretty much it. Sound EQ, huge deal last year. I've never used sound EQ. I wasn't one of those people last year.
Got it on right now.
For this year, I guess I'm just curious. Like Covert Sneakers, I know you made a TikTok or a short about it. Like, what can you hear without sound EQ? Like, what can be heard?
You can still hear Covert Sneakers if they're close enough with certain movements and certain like terrains, but like you have to have it really, really loud. And mantling is the loudest. Mantling is the loudest. Like like you can definitely like I still watch in scrims here and there. Like I don't think anyone has sound cue on technically by the GA right now. But there's still some times like without even sound cue, you still hear people like but it's not. It is so much better. And even last year on LAN, the sound whoring,
the white
like,
noise
sounding people, sounding people. Just you can't really sound people that much. So like, if it's barely even anything on LAN, it's gonna be obsolete. Even like I watch Simp. He runs lightweight with dead silence as the field upgrade, and so he basically never has dead silence popped.
That was my next question.
He barely gets sounded. So like it's way better. It's still. Like, you can still hear people online, but it's way, way better than it was last year.
Yeah, my next question was, do you think we'll see like sort of a no Covert Sneakers meta?
In respawn, right. I think on LAN for sure. I think your submachine guns in respawn, especially on LAN, are being running around with lightweight and dead silence, 100%.
Okay.
Same thing as snaking. It makes free info, makes a dumb player smart. Like now having Daddy and stuff, I think people will shine that should shine.
Dude, watching people make plays is crazy.
So you have it on right now? Like, have you played MW2 with it?
I have the super sound EQ on, like the Warzone sound EQ, like what because I got
you
my
hear
sound.
like freaking everything still.
Yeah, but even when I play Search, I don't really play with it very loud. But like when I play at the respawn aids and stuff, there's a few things where like if someone has lightweight on, I'll hear them. But like,
Okay.
I mean, whatever. Like like that's the Warzone sound EQ is crazy. Like when I got my stuff optimized for the World Series stuff, like that's even crazier than what the pros were playing on.
Can't do it. It just sounds so dog shit. I can't.
It sounds terrible, but yeah, the footsteps and stuff are nuts. But like even this though is not as bad as it was last year. To be honest, it really isn't.
Okay. That's good to
Got
hear.
it. Yeah, no, I'm way too lazy to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So all pistol attachments are on the list. Listen, this is just my opinion. I love the Renetti. I have a feeling that Renetti's gonna probably join this list at some point. Am I wrong in that, or
I actually no, dude, the Renetti's pretty bad.
pretty balanced?
Yeah. I would say like right now because you can only use movement attachments on it, and the current Renetti that they use, I've watched them put like 5 or 6 bursts into people, and they're like, "What the hell?" And like, then there's sometimes that you'll get a crazy kill with it, but for the most part, like, dude, like they're more comfortable with an MCW in like a tight staircase than a pistol. Like it's like
awesome.
I don't think it's that overpowered right now. So
I'm always torn on it because like when they are overpowered, you get some nutty like individual plays.
oh yeah, no, it's good. It's really good if you make someone one shot and you slide to finish the kill. It is not something where like you pull out because you're about to turn a close corner and slide on someone with it because you will probably die. Like the MCW is more of a comfortable gun that I watch pro players right now for the most part slide on people with than the pistol, unless they're weak, of course.
Sniper rifles, of course, always a debated topic. I assume just the cat, just a little too good.
Yeah.
Again, just having it every single round, you can't like balance it like CS where you have an economy. Some people are going to be sad about that. Fact is, we're not the pros, so we're going to move on. The knife is on this list, and some people may want to know why the fuck's the knife on this list. If you have run around with a karambit or a gutted knife, gutter knife?
I think it's the gutter knife. I think
Gutter knife.
Yeah.
On this game, with the 150 HP, you can basically raise hell. There's a lunge. You are very fast. I assume that's what it's about. It's that it was really, it's really good.
Joe, how do you like Warzone when it had the one-hit melee? It was your favorite couple weeks, right?
Deleted that from my memory, I think. So.
Dude, I forgot about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, no,
I wasn't playing at the time. Joe was raging to me. I was like, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, when you had the throwing knives and stuff. I mean, it's the same thing. The big thing that you hit on is just the 150 health, Joe. Like,
yeah,
right now it's 150 health. With a weapon, it's a 3 beatdowns. So basically, beating down someone is very hard to like get a beatdown kill. But if you could pull out your knife with the karambit with the lunge and how fast you move, every single hill with a tight corner, you were better off sitting in the corner with your knife out because at 150 health, you kill them before like they could kill you with the sub. Like, so there's just a lot of really dumb plays that are made with the knife because again, like it allows you to kill faster. Yeah, it allows you to kill faster than any weapon because of the 150 health for a trade where like it just kind of takes like the thought process and the skill out of it. And again, like, yeah, just like sprinting around close corners and stuff is just silly. So like pros just kind of wanted it to be like a teamwork. Like, yo, let's trade this guy together. Not let's sit in corners with knives and just start sprinting around DVD on invasion with the knife in my hand. And it's like kind of, I don't know. So yeah.
Makes sense to me. ARs on red dot, high green ammunition. I assume just way too strong on an AR.
Yeah, I think the pros are just tired of the ARs being so good, so they tried to nerf it.
Makes sense. SAE kill streak. Are we still using kill streaks, by the way? Is the same thing? Like it's goes by kills.
Yeah, and it's the cruise. Same thing.
Do you have the option to switch to score streaks, right? Is it just not
When
working?
did they get fucked?
I don't think they do that. I think they just keep it on kill.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
pretty
it
sure
used to be
last year
score was
fucked.
better. They raged when kill streaks came back, and then they never went back to score streaks. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I think last year got weird.
Yeah, last year threw a loop into a lot of things.
2 trophies per team, and then 1 smoke and S&D, which I think is very important. That 1 smoke, based on some stuff I've watched, that's pretty much, I mean, what a lot of these pushes are you're going to see in CDL week 1 are off of that 1 smoke. So that was just a little, for everyone who's going to watch the CDL this weekend, have some questions. Boom, we got you. I now want to talk like the maps a little bit, Chris. Let's talk about like, what do you expect to be the most common the first few weeks of the CDL? Because I always feel like when the CDL starts, I feel like there's a couple of maps that like teams really, talk about, focus on. And then there's kind of like your cheesy maps. Like I think a Fortress last year, right? That wasn't picked really early until teams were like, all right, we kind of suck at hotel, we kind of suck at CDL, so let's just fucking we're the shittier team.
Forced. You start getting forced
right.
to pick, yeah.
So my guess is the hardpoint cheese is like sub base.
Yeah. Fair point.
Yeah.
That's your Bocage,
like your Bocage-esque. Like let's just fight.
It's just that map is just a billion gunfights with the spawns and just like P3 is impossible to soak for the most part. So it's like, yeah, it's a very weird map.
So I guess like hardpoint, what do you think you're going to see a lot of sort of Karachi invasion?
See, I'm curious. I think so. I don't know the general consensus of Terminal because I think Terminal is like it's very one-sided if you have that side, right?
Yep.
Karachi, I've seen a lot of people have a lot of criticism for Karachi because of the way you just spawn across the map on some of those hills. Like, so I feel like you're going to see a lot of invasion. I think invasion is going to be like a lot of people's like map to play.
Okay.
The Palace Hill kind of ruins that map, but still, I mean, I watch people break Palace Hill and scrims every single day on my team, and then I watch my team do it too. So like
that chat we had was funny. I was like, I saw someone rotate 90 seconds early. I'm like, Chris, what else was there? We're like Hackney Yard.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of anything that like was that wild. Where like someone would full hard point and a half early. I'm like, what the fuck?
But it's tough, dude. You do something like that, and then you get broken, and like you just lose. So it's like I don't know, like
invasion you couldn't break. You got broke 5 times all year. It's not bad.
We'll see how invasion plays in matches, but I think you might see a lot of invasion. Definitely Karachi too, even though I know some people complain about it, but I think those two maps like right now aren't bad, and probably Skid Row. Because like Skid Row, like the P2 could be a little bit annoying in P5, but like I don't think Skid Row plays terrible. I think Subbase is going to be one of those maps that people are super uncomfortable on, just the way it plays.
Is that the P2 looks like the Hackney? It's like the same thing. It's like little 2 story. It looks like
and then Terminals is going to be like I think Terminal is just like it just depends because it's very one-sided, so it depends on how comfortable teams are on that map.
That sounds like a map where like maybe teams down the road try to mess with the veto system. Maybe just a little too early for that. Search, I feel like that's just going to come down to teams and picks. Control, because I think for Control, there's sort of a lot of, I don't know. I mean, or coming into this game, there was some like just negativity around Control. I feel like Karachi and Invasion, pretty good Control.
No, I don't think they're bad. Like, I mean, dude, we played Gavutu Control.
I hear you.
And then we played like Fortress and last year. Like, so I mean, like, I don't think Invasion or Karachi Control are bad at all.
I agree with you.
I don't think they're great, but I don't think they're bad at all. We've had much worse.
I think Karachi, you can win both. Invasion's a little tough with the A zone over at Bus Stop. And then I'm just curious with Highrise. Like, do you think we're going to see how, because like Highrise is always, it feels like, because you just spawn trap on both sides.
Yeah.
And then you can blow up. Like, it's one defensive or offensive 4 down, and you're stuck in that fucking base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be
later on.
Yeah, I think if there is a map that's going to become like the cheese later on kind of thing, like almost like your checkmate, and you're just that like third map that people don't love as much as the other two, but eventually we'll probably start to like it.
They're like, we're kind of getting shit on this, so we should just play it.
And I think people are just tired of getting exploded randomly all the time on that map, and the top helicopter head glitch and stuff is
Depends
like nuts. So it's like
I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think that map's again like but I don't know. I think people just are tired of watching Control in general. But I do think Control is better than last year, and I think it's better than the last year before that too, personally. But
I agree. Yeah, I think Invasion and Karachi have a lot of. I don't know. I think there's a lot there.
Like when I watch it, I think like right now I like to say like I feel like I understand of like what you can do to approach a break on offense and like what you want to do and how you like just the philosophy of it. Like, it looks like pretty good, and even some of the spawns and stuff for the most part on Control. Like if you're not blocking here, they spawn here, and if you're here, you know what I mean. Like I don't know. Like it seems pretty logical for the most part right now. Again, it's not perfect, but I mean I really don't think it's as bad as
Control's always like okay. I don't know.
Yeah, Control is just exactly
always okay.
I'd be able to say it's okay, but honestly, some of my favorite moments throughout the year are Control. I will be honest.
At best, it's great. I'm just saying, like, it's never. It doesn't have the floor CTF does.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the floor that Domination has either. That's the problem.
Yeah. Like it's always okay. It
doesn't have this. I don't think it has.
It should be easier to move zones too. It should be easier for the devs to work with.
Title to title, way fucking easier. Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I mean, I guess what do you? Let's talk just this game in general. Like, what do you think? How close are we to a good title? Are we spawn update? Do we think do we need another map? Like, there's Mercado supposedly coming back. Would Mercado maybe help things with Deddy?
Yeah, I don't think Mercado would hurt things again, but a big thing that I'm scared of is just I'm a huge believer that spawns are almost more important than a map sometimes. I know having a good map is also very important. You need to have your lanes and not a billion doorways and stuff. I agree, but like a good map can be ruined. Like you can ruin raid hardpoint very easily with a bad spawn system. Very easily. You can make that map the worst playable map of all time, and which I think that's one of the best. So it's like I think we're more of a spawn update away from having a pretty good game. The spawns right now are like kind of readable, but again, they're just not good.
Squad spawns mixed with some traditional. It's really weird watching scrims.
There's some hills that have too many spawn points, and then there's some hills that don't have enough. You know what I mean? So then it's like it makes no sense. So I think like they have to do a spawn update, and then like a map or two wouldn't kill us for sure. But it's like very hard to judge some of these maps because like right now the way the terminal spawns work. If you spawn on the security side of the map, you have about 5 of the 6. You have 4 of the 5 hills control, and like it's godlike, and like there's no way to really not spawn them out. And then like when you do spawn them out, it's like they spawn play and you spawn eskies. It's like a parallel race. Like it's just kind of weird. So it's like I would love to see some of the spawns change. I think that's my number one thing to make it play a little bit better. And then some of the hill like actual points too. I think we're a map away or two that would help a lot. But I think it's the spawns and then like some of the hill locations. Some of the hills are too small. Then some of the hills just don't make sense, like on sub base, like the way like the actual rotation goes can be changed. But I think the fundamental of this
sub base and terminal, the ones where like 3 and 4 should swap because it doesn't make sense to me at all. Joe, is that the ones I texted you? Like,
yeah,
there's things that should swap on some of them, but just overall, I think the core of this game with 150 health, a little bit of better movement, the gunplay, and all the stuff is good. And the way Sledgehammer's been communicating, a spawn update, a little hill update here and there, and just constant like actually doing what they're doing right now for an entire year straight would be, I think we're in for a good year.
Sounds like you got more so far than we did last year. Fine, that's good.
Can I ask a question to you guys?
What's up?
Like, can we just like stop doing this thing every year and it like instead just have like the pros come out for like a week or two? Like the devs don't want to make, they don't know where the hell should go. They throw at the dartboard, here, and there. At least we have 6 and not 19. Can we just have the pros for a week or two? Play hardpoint and control and search. Tell them the best places to put the objectives and the spawns, and then they don't have to worry about it ever again.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like
how long do you think it would take? Like 2 weeks max? Max.
Even,
I think you can get it done in a week, but like
you can get it done
to
decently.
Perfect it.
Yeah, to perfect it like 2 weeks, but you could probably let pro players play for like 5 days. And like after that 5 days, the feedback that they would give you and the spawns and everything, like I think they would have like a really solid start of the year, like in 5 days of work, very easily. Like, and again, like even Mercado too, like like the 7 hills, like dude, we don't need 7 hills. Like,
but before MW19 had 18 or something.
No, I know, I was there. I went to that play test when that game came out.
There's no raid.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, I think 5 days the pro players can go. If you let them play like 5 to 6 hours a day at least, done. Easy.
I'm not going down this rabbit hole. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, no, I can go down that route too. But
it's like my tweets last night. I could talk about that for like a decade. Not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't like. I know they don't want to worry about it. Like, I know they don't. Why would they?
They definitely don't want to.
Like, they don't. Yeah. They probably go into a meeting and it's like, hey, what's the social chatter? We're talking like some of the big things that come up for the CDLs, probably on that list, and that's some shit they could probably just not have to worry about. Imagine you put a couple of junior devs.
Some shit that does nothing to our wallets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just, okay. That's all I really wanted to say.
You trust me, you're right, because that a lot of that could be fixed before the game comes out, and then we can actually start working at other stuff. It does suck that the first month of this year is kind of like fixing the game, but after last year, dude, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
All the little stuff I hope the CDL fixed.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen. Let's get into CDL then. CDL starts Friday, but based off like what we were just talking about, we have 2 weeks of matches. That ends the 17th, and then we return 1/12. And so there's about a month break. My question,
bro.
Should we just have started in mid-January anyways? If we're gonna have these updates,
and
these game fixes.
Because it's weird, because you're going to play these first 3 matches, and then everything's going to get fixed and changed, so it's like...
I imagine you guys are going to play this out until the break, and then like maybe having a spawn update or whatever.
I think that's what's going to happen. I'm assuming we play this out with the news, with the spawns that we're using, obviously, right now. and then they change the spawns on us, and then after these 3 matches or these 3 days of matches, like we have like basically like 3 weeks to figure it out again and then go again.
I think in a perfect world, we are like a marketing tool for the game launch, and I would love it to be close to it and to be as one happy family, but we don't have that, and we're not a marketing tool. It's separate entirely. So yeah, let's just do it when it's ready. I mean, I would
listen, I love that we
we
started earlier. I love going until the end of June and July, like because then we have our summers, right? And it's great. But like, I understand engagement; it's really important. But I feel like we can't sacrifice the product itself and the competition.
Yeah, but
I would just rather.
It's in a good enough place, though. I don't know. It's not like that.
But like,
dude, there's some bad shit, Maeve. There's some really bad things.
Did you watch last year?
I hear you. I'm just saying. I mean, it was the same thing last year. We started in December. I hear you. This is part of that discussion. Like, why the fuck are we doing this?
We didn't have red dots in July, but like, it's in a better place. Like, I think overall, but I don't know.
No, I mean, we could also. I feel like I'm a big believer in like the 2 and the 5Ks type thing. Still, I still think like even if you didn't start the league technically like right away, like you were saying, if you wanted to start it later, I still think you can do so much within the first couple months, like first month.
Yeah, I think we still have a pro-am. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the league itself. Like, why are we giving out CDL points with a broken spawn system to qualify for champs at the end of the year?
No, you're not
wrong.
You're right. And that's what I mean. I feel like they could definitely do it where like they could still make things really engaging with obviously not having.
I disagree with you. I'm saying in a perfect world, I want it early, but we don't have a perfect world, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, why can't you make this a perfect world yet, Maeve?
Yeah,
I'll try.
You're supposed to be the commish. Like, I don't know.
I want to be a wizard, and if I had magic powers, dude, I'd fix it all.
Yeah.
I don't, Joe. I'm sorry.
Which house are you in?
Which house am I in? Oh, I got Ravenclaw when I played the game, but I'm probably.
You're definitely Slytherin.
Yeah.
Actually, you're more Hufflepuff.
You think I'm a Hufflepuff? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be Hufflepuff. Chris, I
got Hufflepuff
around, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious.
You're Gryffindor through and through, you bitch.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's take a look at our first week. We're back. The CDL is back. Let's look at week 1.
Wait, you're back. We're back. You're back?
No, the CDL is back. I don't know where I am. I'm just here. Okay, here we go. We're kicking off with a banger day on Friday. FaZe Boston, Slasher versus his old squad. We have LA Thieves Seattle, Optic Texas versus New York. And then you guys play LA Thieves on Sunday as well. So I guess, Chris, how you feeling about this first weekend of matches?
I mean, like right now from practice, I feel great. Again, I think the team looks really, really good right now. They're putting in a lot of work, and I'm happy with all of the results that we're getting. So we just have to obviously go out there and just keep doing our thing and make sure we just play to win. So I'm happy with like how we've been looking. I'm super stoked. I'm just excited to watch competitive Call of Duty again. And again, I like this game a lot more than what we've been dealing with for the last like year and a half. So like I'm just super excited to watch competitive COD. The boys have been playing really well. I mean, again, they're going really hard. So it's nice to be back in the atmosphere of just the CDL starting.
For you, I bet it's been a couple of years of scrims slamming people and not necessarily transitioning onto the online matches. So I'm sure you're probably focused on carrying over what's working.
Yeah, there's things like that for sure. And just in general, just like the atmosphere of the CDL when it starts is nice. It's just like trying to figure everything out. It's just a fun thing to be around. Like, I don't know. I like as stressful as it can be, especially you guys talk to me a lot, like as stressful as it can be, like it's still an awesome thing. Just like when the season's actually like in the thick of it. And,
I'm ready. I am horny.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. And those matchups also outside of our matches too are really good. I think we actually have some good matchups there. I think this year is going to have some pretty cool games. The league's pretty competitive too. So
yeah, there's a lot of talent, a lot of new talent.
Who are you most looking forward to seeing, Chris? So is there any team like on your radar, like outside of like your
typical
Optic, your New York, your Toronto's, like who's kind of been popping up? Like, damn, these guys are pretty good.
I mean, I think I'm biasly speaking. I said this since last year. I want to watch Dan Ghosty play. So LA Thieves for me. I'm a big believer in Cap. Obviously, big fan of JCap. Most people know that. But I think
different year for them.
Yeah, it's a different year because they went down the route of obviously, I think their budget was a little bit lower, and like they obviously didn't get like the team that they wanted. But I think again, like they formed probably the best team that they could have with what they did, And no disrespect, because those guys are really good too. I'm not saying it in like a negative way. I'm just like, it was a different
No,
way
they
of
lost
going
their
about the
world
roster.
championship
Yeah,
roster.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a fact of it. Yeah.
So it's like, but again, I think they did a really good job, and I think they're good. And specifically for me, I think Joe Deceives was better than last year. I think that LAG team was just absolute shit, and their entire atmosphere was shit. So like, I think he played pretty bad because of that. Most people would. And then I think Dan Ghosty did a lot for that Optic team when it comes to just being a good teammate, communication, and just doing everything that that team needed to do to win and not show himself off at all. Like, I think he did a lot for that team. And now to watch him play in more of a atmosphere where he can probably shine, it's more or less like curiosity, but I want to see like how good he actually is. And I'm saying that, and like, I think he's going to be pretty good. Like, so I'm super excited to see them play. They've been playing. I like the way they play in scrims. Like, when you watch the mini map and stuff, they definitely have some logic to what they're doing and everything. So I think they're a good team to watch at, in my opinion, right now. And then also Seattle. Seattle's a weird one. I think Abuza is pretty good. A lot
I
of
think they
people
might be nasty, bro.
That's what I know. Like, yeah, Seattle's a weird team because they have the potential to be nasty, but they also have the potential to just be like sometimes too cracked in a sense. So it's like I'm curious to see like how they do it. I mean, Ray's obviously a good coach, and then they have like good players around them. But I think Abuza's pretty good, and I'm excited to watch him like obviously like kind of step into the league and do his thing. But yeah, so like that match, LA Thieves Seattle's awesome one to watch. That's gonna be outside of my own one of my favorites.
I'm all about the Vamos.
That's what you look forward to see, Maeve?
I know, I really do. Just, I don't know, for the fan base.
Their passion is crazy.
Pickle's the man. Their passion's nuts. They can be individually freaks when they were in the league before. Like, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, they were like, what, top 6, top 8 at the Black Ops 4 pretty consistently. It's just a question of can they... I'm curious to see how long it takes them to get back to that. Like, they've been out of the league a little bit. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe they're so motivated because they are
back.
Much
of a period before? Didn't they come in and kind of do that?
No, they start off a little slower. Yeah. I think in the league. I think like at the events they might have gotten
in the league. Yeah.
But in the league, they would like, again, they just brought a different energy to matches. I think they caught people off guard. But like at tournaments, it was like some top 8s and then like maybe one top 4, and like they kind of went back to like top 6, top 8. Like
they hovered around that area. Yeah, it almost felt like back then they just didn't have the consistency to do it again. Like when they would beat, like they would pull off a pretty good match, but then like I feel like they wouldn't do it again to like solidify themselves top 3, top 2. But I like them too, though. I feel like their passion in matches, again, like I don't know if they're gonna start slow or not, but like if they were to start a little slow, I wouldn't be too worried, just because like I feel like the way that team's atmosphere, if it's similar to what it used to be, their passion in matches and their passion in tournaments is really, really, really underrated. And I think that actually brings a lot to them when it matters the most. And then, like, again, I think they're going to get better because of the way they view the game. Like, those guys don't want to accept not being good or living up to a standard, and they want to be the best that they can be. And the way they did that last year, they proved a lot. I mean, last time they proved a lot of people wrong. So they have to do that again. I feel like they probably all feel that way. So I think they're going to be a very fun team to watch. And I also, love their energy. That whole team is just a bunch of good dudes for the most. Like, you know, when you're talking to them and stuff, they're all nice, and like, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
I mean, we wanted more international representation, so now they're Miami Dolphin fans, and Clayster is representing London or the Carolinas.
Well, he's not. Yeah, Carolina now. That's a weird one.
Yeah,
it is a weird one. All right, well, we're back. The league's back. Starts up this week. Nobody heard that, Clint, because you're noise gate. You clapping?
Oh, well, I promise I clapped.
Clap. Try yet?
I don't know how do I have to turn it down? I don't know what to do, dude. I tried my best, Joe. I tried my best. I forgot about that entirely.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah, you were just sitting there like clapping like a seal, dude. I was like, Chris, thank you so much for taking your time out of your day and hanging out with us.
Dude, I would do this anytime you guys want, dude. I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, we have a date in the next couple of days. Don't forget.
What's the date?
You, me, 2 hours and 400 questions.
Okay.
400.
Dude, every time.
Oh, that date. Yeah. I was trying to put together what you're saying, man. No, every before the season starts. Yeah, we do have a date. You're right.
Pick his brain about everything, and he teaches me the ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sure does. Chris, do you want to plug all your stuff? Where people can find your content and
sure, dude.
Where you stream?
Yeah, all right, dude. We stream on YouTube and Twitch every morning. So
you do both?
Yeah, I do both. A little multi-stream, dude. I'm doing a little bit of both. So
how's that going? I might have to do that.
You should. It's you. Why not? Is honestly
Why not?
like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then like it's in keeping up with two chats isn't that crazy. It's kind of fun because like sometimes if your chat's ever like slower in Twitch, like you usually YouTube's like it's just
You
more people to
combine them
talk
on
to.
your end, right? So it's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So twitch.tv/Crowder and then youtube.com/CrowderYT is my main channel. We're 2,000 subs away from 100K right now. We're getting close to that YouTube plaque. But and then everything else is TikTok, James Crowder 94. And then Instagram is James Crowder 94. That's about it. But yeah,
Follow
YouTube
it.
and Twitch are where you'll find me. I'm usually live every day, playing with these guys right here, talking about
Yeah.
CDL and Call of Duty in general, and
Yeah,
playing
we're a
some.
bunch of
Trying to be simp and not really succeeding, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm the same way. All right, well,
I love you.
I love you guys, and I love everybody that's watching this video.
Thank you for coming
The
on.
podcast.
I'd have you
everyone
every day if I could.
enjoy the week. That we have Warzone Wednesday. We have a CDL Friday. Season 1's Wednesday. It's a great Call of Duty week. Dana's coming to town. Maven, take us away.
No, dude, you had me fired up there. Later, fuckers. That was awesome. Bye.